Bertrand Russell's critique of religion. What is the value of religion? Does it uplift humanity? Or is it a relic of our fears? Few thinkers have wrestled with these questions as fiercely as Bertrand Russell, one of the 20th century's most famous intellectuals. He was a mathematician, philosopher, and Nobel laureate, one of the most formidable intellects of the 20th century. Bertrand Russell not only transformed logic and analytic philosophy, but he also issued one of the most powerful critiques of religion in modern times. In this video, we explore Bertrand Russell's critique of religion, his arguments, their philosophical grounding, and the controversies they ignited. Who was Bertrand Russell? Born in 1872 into an aristocratic British family, Bertrand Russell was educated at Cambridge, where he studied mathematics and philosophy. He became a leading figure in analytic philosophy and a vocal public intellectual, advocating for peace, free thought, and secular humanism. Throughout his long life, Russell challenged dogma, whether political, philosophical, or religious. Why I am not a Christian. On March 6, 1927, Russell delivered a lecture titled Why I Am Not a Christian, arguing that religion stems from fear of the unknown, fear of death, fear of a chaotic universe. He said, religion is based, I think, primarily and mainly upon fear of the mysterious, fear of defeat, fear of death. Therefore, he saw faith not as a path to truth, but as a comforting illusion, one that often resists reason and science. Not only that, but Russell saw the history of religion as a history of suppression, where dogmas stifle free thought. The lecture became one of the most widely read critiques of Christianity ever published. Russell's main arguments were the failure of traditional arguments for God's existence, such as the first cause and design arguments, the moral shortcomings of religion, which in his view encouraged fear, guilt, and cruelty, the superiority of rational inquiry and secular ethics, which he believed could guide humanity more effectively than faith-based systems. He wrote, fear is the basis of the whole thing, fear of the mysterious, fear of defeat, fear of death. Critique of proofs for God's existence. Russell methodically dismantled traditional arguments for God's existence. Let us mention these arguments. The cosmological argument. Why must the universe have a cause, and why must that cause be God? He argued this leads to an infinite regress unless we arbitrarily stop at God. The teleological argument. Russell noted the cruelty and randomness in nature as evidence against design. Evolution, not divine intention, explains biological complexity. The moral argument. He rejected the idea that morality requires God, arguing instead that ethics arise from human empathy and reason. To Russell, none of these arguments met the standard of philosophical rigor. The problem of evil. Can God exist in a suffering world? Russell, like many skeptics, grappled with the problem of evil. If God is all-powerful and all-good, why does suffering exist? He said, the world in which we live can be understood as a result of muddle and accident, but if it is the outcome of deliberate purpose, then that purpose must be of a monster. Therefore, unlike the theologians who offer complex defenses of God's plan, Russell found the universe indifferent, a place where morality must come from human reason, not divine command. Religion and science, a clash of worldviews. Russell thought that science, not religion, holds the key to real progress. While faith relies on unchanging dogma, science evolves, admitting when it is wrong, seeking evidence over certainty. This means that what science cannot tell us, humanity cannot know. To him, the scientific method, questioning, testing, doubting, was the true path to wisdom. Religion and morality. Russell believed that religion often distorts morality rather than elevates it. He cited examples such as the Inquisition and religious wars, suppression of scientific thought, and repressive attitudes toward sexuality and women. He argued that moral progress was achieved despite religious institutions, not because of them. Russell advocated for a morality based on compassion, reason, and the well-being of sentient beings, principles that did not require divine sanction. He said, the good life is one inspired by love and guided by knowledge. The role of doubt and intellectual honesty. For Russell, doubt is not a weakness, but it is an intellectual virtue. He warned against absolute certainty, especially in matters of faith. He wrote, "It is undesirable to believe a proposition when there is no ground whatever for supposing it true." To him, the search for truth must remain open, skeptical, and fearless. He placed his trust not in revelation, but in science, logic, and democratic values. Legacy and relevance today. Bertrand Russell's critique of religion continues to resonate. It has influenced secular humanists, atheist thinkers, and even religious reformers who value reason and moral clarity. He challenged us to think deeper, to face life's uncertainties with courage, not dogma. He said, "Do not fear to be eccentric in opinion, for every opinion now accepted was once eccentric." Though some view his critique as overly dismissive or culturally narrow, others see in it a blueprint for a more rational, humane society. Russell did not seek to destroy faith, but to encourage critical thinking, freedom of conscience, and the courage to ask difficult questions. In the end, Russell's challenge to religion was not born of malice, but of a deep commitment to truth, justice, and intellectual integrity. His words continue to ask us, can we build a better world, not through fear or dogma, but through courage, reason, and compassion? So, whether you agree with him or not, his critique forces a vital question. Should belief be about comfort or truth? Keep thinking.